Hi. So, first things first, before we get into the video, let's clear some things up. Destiny killers don't exist. The only thing that's going to kill Destiny is, well, Destiny itself. And when you really take a game and compare it to Destiny, like Anthem, for example, it really doesn't end well for the competitor, as we've seen in the past. The next thing I need to talk about is big shoutouts to people over at Blizzard for hooking me up with a key for the Ultimate Edition, which allowed me to get all this gameplay during the early access release, so big ups to them. But now let's get straight into the video, and let me tell you why I think, well, maybe Diablo isn't a Destiny killer. It definitely fits into the types of games that I guess we as Destiny players enjoy, and why you should, honestly, you should. I think you should check it out. So, it's not really in an order, but starting with the first thing, the gameplay, it's different. It's not a shooter, which a lot of the Destiny killers in the past have been shooters. Usually third-person shooters. There really isn't any first-person Destiny killers out there, but they're usually all shooters, whereas Diablo definitely isn't a shooter. That being said, the gameplay is still very satisfying. I'm a huge enjoyer of this. I don't really know. I think it's isometric, whatever it is. It's fun. The movement is really kind of what the skill ceiling is, but even then, it is just fun. And I'd recommend, don't let the gameplay put you off, because the systems that are there and the depth of the game really goes above that. But that's kind of the difference between Destiny and Diablo. But now let's talk about the similarities, which was what makes me enjoy it so much and why I think it kind of fits into that Destiny killer genre. So now let's talk loot, because that's honestly the main thing in both Destiny and Diablo. And to compare Destiny and Diablo's loot to other MMOs I've played in the past, these two games' loot is just satisfying, because the other games I've played, you get these items, you get your stuff, and there's really nothing special to it. It's not any cooler than what someone else has. It's not any better than what someone else has, and it's always kind of just, oh yeah, the same thing. Maybe you put a build together with it, whatever. But in Destiny and Diablo, there's this sense of my god roll exists. Because each piece of loot, if it's from a pinnacle activity like a raid, or in Diablo, a nightmare dungeon, or just it's a unique or a legendary, you can get different rolls on that thing to completely fit into your perfect build. So, in Destiny, I've got my BXR, which is my pride and joy. That thing has a role specifically that makes me want to use it, whereas other people might not even use that role. And that's kind of the same thing in Diablo. It allows each player to chase their specific piece of loot because of these stats, these affixes that are on them, which allows you to just kind of be like, oh yeah, these boots are perfect for me. Maybe not perfect for you, but these stats are exactly what I want, allowing me to perfect my build and become even stronger than I already am. And so that's why I think, regarding our loot goblin brain, oh, by the way, there's loot goblins, Diablo, Destiny needs those, they're the same. And I think if you like Destiny for getting the god roll, try out Diablo, because there's even more ways to get the god roll in that. Next comparison I want to talk about for Bungie and Diablo is build crafting. In Destiny, that's a huge part, and it's very satisfying when you get a build going. In Diablo, it's just the same, but it works a little different. See, in your inventory, you've got a weapon slot But that's not really what changes how you play like it does in Destiny. In Diablo, weapons are kind of under that icky word stat stick, although they do modify how you play with attack speed, and then of course the affixes that are applied to it, so those words under it, which is kind of like aspects and fragments inside of Destiny. But what really changes how you play is when you look at your skill tree. At the top, you've got your basic skills, which is essentially like your primary fire, and then everything else is abilities, similar to what it is in Destiny. And that's how builds can completely change and be absolutely different amongst every person, because you got an ability, and you've got the little branching off stuff, and all of those are like aspects, which completely change how everything works. And then of course you choose your limited amount of abilities, and what modifications you want to make to them, and make your build that way. And then you go ahead and get your armor / uniques and exotics in both games, and then create your build, which allows you to just go in and destroy everything. And while on the topic of destroy everything, similar to Destiny, when you get a build going, you kind of just do the thing and the room explodes. And when you get a build like that in Destiny, it's super satisfying, and it's just as satisfying in Diablo as you've seen in the gameplay. When you get a big group of enemies, I freeze them all, and they all just die. They all fall over. And that's just kind of the dopamine hit of having a good build work for you. It makes this game just so fun. And then lastly, in this Destiny killer, why you should check it out, why it's comparable, is how the content's going to work. Is Diablo is going to be exactly like Destiny with seasons, and it is an MMO, meaning it's gonna have pretty much the same content rollout that Destiny has. So genuinely, from here on out, whenever there's a new Diablo season, I'm gonna jump back in. I probably won't play it as much as Destiny, but Diablo is definitely gonna be a game that I play at least until it stops getting support. And that's kind of all I really got to gush about Diablo to my Destiny players, because this, I'm not sponsored to say this, I did get a free key, but this game is just so fun. There's so much to do. I've literally barely scratched the surface in all the little things that you can get into regarding this game. And I don't know, man, it's a lot of fun. Again, it's not a Destiny killer. That thing, it's a myth. It doesn't exist. But I wouldn't doubt it if the Destiny 2 player count went down when Diablo launched. And for all my Destiny players out there, again, try it out. Maybe it's cool. It's very cool. That's really all I've got to say. Again, if you want to support me and support this channel, comment down below Diablo. Because, yeah, I think you know why. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy listening to me talk, a subscription would be super appreciated. I hope to see you around.